Good morning, everyone. What I would like to really discuss in this weekend's webinar is actually the concept of impermanence. All right, it's one of my favorites because it's not like a concept which is very mystical or spiritual. Here's a concept which happens to be very spiritual when you understand it, but it's also very logical and scientific in a sense. So you can actually appreciate it in two different ways. Those who are very spiritual would actually look at it from a oneness perspective and really go deep into it. But actually, those who are not spiritual and they like to look at things in a very logical approach, let's say, they're actually going to get something out of it also because it's very well laid out and explained. All right. So it's actually very basic, okay, as a concept. Impermanence means that nothing lasts. Okay, nothing lasts, and everything vanishes. Nothing is constant, and that's one of the deepest truth that exists, and it's actually something no one can escape. Okay, you can't, for example, hold on to a given moment for very long because everything changes. The moment changes, people change, your body changes, your body gets old, your health also fluctuates throughout your lifetime. You're not always fit. You do happen to get sick. You do happen to suffer. Some people will try to cause harm to you, and some will actually come and help you. So nothing is actually constant in that sense. Everything changes. All right. So that's the concept of impermanence, which is called anicca, and in Sanskrit it's called anitya. Okay, it's impermanence. So we can't actually escape that phase of life. Okay, you can say that you're going to create the life you want to create, which is good. Okay, you're going to attract the kind of people you want to attract in your life. All of this is good, but there are actually some deep truth about life which you can't change. And one of the deep truth is that life is impermanent. All right. So we can't change that. And the moment we accept it, we understand it fully. And we practice actually being with that state that everything is impermanent, and we really go deep into it and we understand it, things become easy for us because then when something happens, you actually are very aware that things are impermanent. So you don't get affected that much by the things which happen to you. So that's how it happens to be one of the most important aspects of Buddhism or spiritual practice in general. And actually, if you're someone who meditates and someone who's very spiritual and you actually understand this one concept very, 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 very well, it can actually help you to go very deep into your meditation and actually look at life from a very, very different perspective. All right, so that's impermanence, which I wanted to talk about. Now, once we've understood impermanence, we can actually go and talk about the three different facts of life which are actually mentioned in the Pali Canon. Okay, I usually refer to the Pali Canon because it's one of the spiritual books in Buddhism, and Buddhist people refer to it a lot because this is like a sort of guide which helps you into your practice. But without any doubt, you actually need to bring the practice in real life, and that's how you keep Buddhism alive. It's by practicing it, not just by reading and thinking about it, talking about it. It's actually by bringing it in real life and relating to these concepts. So the three facts of life are laid out like this. One is what we just described, impermanence, which is called anicca in Pali. So impermanence means that everything changes. So that's like the basic condition of life. The second one is suffering, which is called dukkha. okay, dukkha, duk, in Pali. So suffering means that it's not actually physical suffering, because you end up getting sick, okay? It's not exactly this. Suffering, as per the Pali canon, so as per Buddhism, is actually craving. It's when you actually want something the whole time. Um, Having desires is not bad, but if you constantly want something, what happens is you never get to appreciate the present moment, because you're constantly wanting something else. So that's called craving, and this is what causes suffering in life. It's as if you're on a motorcycle, okay, and you're not appreciating your ride. You're constantly looking at the car, and you're saying that, oh, I really want that car. I don't want this motorcycle. And if you are in a car, you're looking at the crossover, and it just goes on like that. You are driving in a Lamborghini, let's say, and now you're looking for a helicopter, for instance. So the craving never ends, no matter what you currently have. And this is the cause of suffering. Okay, having desire is okay, but once you actually start to crave for things, you don't enjoy what you really have. So you could be driving in a car and you're constantly looking at the crossover you want to buy, let's say, but constantly doing that actually doesn't allow you to appreciate the car you have right now. You don't enjoy. So in that sense, you never get to actually experience the present moment, the current moment, to its fullest, because you're always craving. You're always in that craving mode. You're always looking for something. So that's the second aspect of life, which is suffering, which is dukkha. And the third aspect is non-self. Okay, what does that mean? That means that deep down, we need to understand that this body is not us. Okay, whatever I do in my life, whether as a father, as a friend, as someone at the workplace, all these are different roles. They are not me. And you, deep down, you need to understand that these are roles we play, but we are not them. Okay, they are roles we play, but deep down we are someone else. And once we understand that, we have a deeper understanding of life, because we don't attach ourselves to these different roles we play in our life. So when this happens, you're actually freed of identifying yourself to these roles. It's like, for instance, for me, it took years of practice to actually do that. But once I leave my workplace, I no longer relate myself to my workplace. Right now, I'm here talking to you. So I'm talking to you as a spiritual seeker, let's say. So that's one of my identities. And when I'm talking to other people who are non-spiritual, let's say, I talk another language. I talk about common things. When I talk to my son, I speak another language. So in that sense, you actually play many roles, and they all happen to be like an aspect of you. But deep down, you're none of them. And that's why we say deep down, we are nothing. So I'm going to end the session by actually telling you a very short story about the Bodhidharma. Okay, the Bodhidharma was actually the person who brought Buddhism from India to the West. Okay, and his approach was very Zen, typical Zen, abrupt, one statement guy. Okay, so I just love the Bodhidharma. So one day he went to see a king, okay, because he was very famous as a spiritual teacher. Okay, so the king wanted to meet him. So one day he went to see the king, and then the king asked him, I've built so many temples, I've fed so many poor people. So what do you think it's worth in terms of karma, in terms of spirituality? Um, does it make me really, really spiritual? Okay, doing all of this was, am I doing the right thing, and do I need to do more of it? And then the Bodhidharma said no. Okay, so that kind of got the king very confused. And then actually the king took that as an insult, all right? And then the king got very angry and said, how come you come to my place and then you're insulting me? And then the Bodhidharma said something along those lines. Okay, he said, Zen, okay, Zen practice is nothingness, all nothingness, no holiness. So that's all he said. Like I told you, he used to be a one statement guy. So he said Zen is nothingness and no holiness. Okay, and that can be quite disorienting for a few people. But what it actually means is that when you do something, okay, when you're doing something, you're not actually doing something so that you generate good karma. Okay, a lot of people actually end up doing service, helping others, because they're trying to generate good karma. But actually, Zen in its pure state is beyond this. So you just do things, you don't actually even have a sense of morality which you adhere to, because deep down we know we are all pure and our actions will be pure by nature. Anyway, that's what I believe. I had a Zen teacher who did not believe what I'm saying right now. So just to tell you, so deep down we're all good human beings, but it's just that we don't know our true nature. So you just do things. There's no actually holiness because you're not categorizing. I am doing a good deed right now. You're just doing a deed. Because the moment you categorize, the moment you say, I'm doing a good deed now, right now, I am meditating, I follow this person, I do my Zen practice, you're actually categorizing you. So in a sense, once you categorize you, you're actually creating a sort of separation from everything else. Whereas Zen in its pure state is actually about oneness, about connecting to everyone. So that's what the Bodhidharma meant when he said it's emptiness, void, nothing, nothingness, and no holiness, because we don't categorize, we just do.